The bank doors slide open. Kendra steps in, sneakers squeaking on the shiny marble. Fluorescent lights buzz above. Greg looks up, eyes narrowing as she approaches. The security camera follows her, its red light blinking. She stops at counter 3, hands in her hoodie pocket. Greg's gaze moves from her braids to her jeans. A man behind her adjusts his tie, glancing at his watch. "I'd like to withdraw $500, Kendra says. Greg leans back, chair creaking. "Account number?" She gives it, fingers brushing the counter. He types slowly, keys loud in the quiet lobby. The camera's light blinks in time with his keystrokes. Greg pauses, squinting at his screen. "This is a custodial account. Where's Marcus Johnson?" "He's my father." A security guard near the door shifts, hand on his belt. Kendra's throat tightens, but she doesn't look away. Greg prints a form, slides it over. "Sign here." Kendra's pen hovers. "It's my account. I've done this before." He taps the paper. "Policy requires verification." She signs. The ink smudges. Greg compares it to the signature card, lips pressed thin. The camera whirs, catching her patience, his doubt. Greg nods. "Wait here." He disappears into the back office, the door clicking behind him. Kendra exhales, loosening her grip on her phone. Outside, an SUV pulls up. Greg returns, fingers tapping. The counter, each tap louder than the last. Kendra slides her ID across the cold marble, her hand unsteady. Greg picks it up, holding it between two fingers like it might stain. He studies her photo, then her face, eyes lingering on her braids. He tilts the ID, checking the hologram. "You sure this is you?" His tone is flat, but the accusation is clear. Kendra nods, jaw clenched. "Yes, that's me." A woman in line glances at Kendra, then looks away, shifting her purse closer. The security guard near the door watches, thumb drumming against his belt. Greg's lips curl in a practiced, tight smile. "You look younger here." Kendra's voice is quiet. "It was taken 2 years ago." He sets the ID down, fingers drumming. Again. "Wait here." He turns to the computer, typing with slow, deliberate movements. The camera above pans slightly, recording every gesture. Kendra stands still, eyes fixed on the counter. Her phone buzzes in her pocket, but she doesn't move. The man behind her sighs, checking his watch again. Greg glances up, meeting her eyes for a moment before looking away. He picks up the ID again, flipping it over, searching for a reason to doubt. A teller at the next counter whispers to a coworker, both casting quick looks at Kendra. The air feels heavy, every movement loaded with meaning. Greg finally slides the ID back, voice clipped. "You'll need to wait for approval." Kendra takes it, her hand steady now. She stands her ground, refusing to shrink. Greg turns away, fingers still tapping. The security guard shifts, eyes on Kendra, the tension thick in the lobby. Kendra breathes deep, waiting for what comes next. Greg holds the ID up, squinting at the name. "Marcus Johnson's daughter?" His voice is sharp, echoing off the marble. He lets out a short laugh, more like a scoff. "You expect me to believe that?" Kendra's jaw tightens. "Check the signature card. It's my account." He flips through a stack of documents, eyes never leaving her. "You know, people try things all the time." His tone is dismissive, words meant to cut. Kendra stands taller, voice steady. "You have my ID, you have my signature. What else? Do you need?" A woman in line whispers to her friend, both watching the scene unfold. The security guard's gaze lingers on Kendra, jaw set. Greg glances at the signature card, then back at Kendra. "Doesn't look the same to me." He slides the card across the counter, daring her to argue. Kendra picks up the pen, signs her name again, slow and deliberate. It matches. He compares the signatures, lips pressed together. Maybe, maybe not. A teller at the next window clears his throat, shifting uncomfortably. The tension in the lobby grows, every eye drawn to the counter. Kendra meets Greg's stare, refusing to look away. "I'm not here to steal. I'm here for my money." Greg's laugh is cold. "We'll see about that." He sets the documents aside, folding his arms. The camera overhead tilts, capturing the standoff. Kendra's hands are steady now. She waits, unblinking, as Greg looks for a reason to deny her. A quiet settles over the lobby, heavy and expectant. No one speaks, but everyone listens. Greg finally breaks the stillness. "Bring your dad next time." Greg slides the ID back across the counter, his fingers brushing the marble. "Bring your dad," he says, voice flat. Kendra picks up her ID, shoulders squared. She doesn't argue, just tucks it into her wallet with slow, careful movements. Outside, headlights sweep across the lobby as a black SUV pulls up to the curb. The engine idles, a low rumble cutting through the evening quiet. Through the glass, Marcus steps out, briefcase in hand, his silhouette framed by the streetlights. He pauses, scanning the lobby, eyes settling on Kendra. Greg's tight smile fades as he notices the man approaching. The security guard at the door straightens, nodding, in recognition. A teller glances up from her window, curiosity flickering across her face. Kendra stands taller, the tension in her shoulders easing as her father enters. She doesn't turn, but her posture changes, a quiet signal of relief. The camera above the eye counter shifts, its lens now capturing both Greg and Marcus in the same frame. Marcus steps through the doors, shoes echoing on the marble. He nods to Kendra, then fixes his gaze on Greg. The lobby's usual hum is gone, replaced by a heavy stillness. Greg clears his throat, suddenly unsure. "Can I help you?" His voice is softer now. Marcus doesn't answer right away. He sets his briefcase on the counter, hands steady. Kendra's phone buzzes in her pocket, a reminder of the video she nearly posted. The security guard watches closely, sensing the shift in the room. A woman in line whispers, "That's him," to her friend. Kendra's eyes meet her father's. No words pass between them, but understanding does. The camera's red light glows, recording what it was never meant to see. Marcus stands at the counter, posture calm, suit immaculate. He looks Greg in the eye, no hint of a smile. Greg's fingers freeze above the keyboard, his usual confidence slipping. The lobby feels smaller, every conversation fading as people sense something important is about to happen. Greg tries to recover, forcing a polite tone. "Can I help you, sir?" Marcus's voice is even. "I'm Marcus Johnson. My daughter was just denied access to her own account." Greg glances at Kendra, then back at Marcus, swallowing hard. "There were some questions about verification." Marcus opens his briefcase, pulling out a folder. "All the information you need is here. The account is hers. There's no reason to delay her request." A teller at the next window stops, counting bills, watching the exchange. The security guard shifts his stance, arms crossed, waiting. Greg's lips twitch in a nervous half-smile. "Just following the usual steps, Mr. Johnson." Kendra's phone buzzes in her pocket. She silences, eyes never leaving her father. Her TikTok draft flashes on the screen. "This is how banks treat us." She hasn't posted it yet. Marcus leans forward, voice low. "You know who I am. You know what's right. Fix this." Greg's hands hover over the keyboard. Hesitation. Clear. The power in the room has shifted. He glances at the camera, then at Marcus, realizing the old rules don't protect him anymore. A customer in line whispers, "He's the CEO." Another nods, watching Greg's composure unravel. Kendra stands beside her father, quiet but resolute. The storm Greg never saw coming is here, and it's nothing like he expected. The lobby holds its breath, waiting for the next move. Marcus stands at the counter watching Greg fumble with the account details. The tension lingers as the lobby's attention drifts back to its usual rhythm. Later, in his office, Marcus unlocks a drawer and pulls out a stack of old memos. Each one is stamped with dates and a familiar phrase, Not leadership material. He flips through them, remembering the faces of managers who shook his hand but never called him back. The paper edges are worn from years of being handled, read, and put away again. Marcus's jaw tightens as he recalls the interviews that went nowhere, the meetings where his ideas were dismissed. A flashback. Marcus, younger, in a cheap suit, sits across from a supervisor. The supervisor glances at Marcus's resume, then at Marcus. "We're looking for someone who fits the culture," he says, voice careful. Marcus nods, hiding his disappointment. Back in the present, Marcus places the memos on his desk, arranging them in a neat line. He runs a finger over the ink, feeling the weight of every missed opportunity. The phone rings, his assistant's voice, hesitant. "The board meeting is confirmed for tomorrow." Marcus answers, "Thank you. Please bring the personnel files too." He hangs up and looks at the memos one more time. The words are always the same, but the handwriting changes. Different people, same outcome. A cleaning staff member enters, emptying the trash. She glances at the papers, then at Marcus, offering a polite nod. Marcus nods back, the moment heavy with unspoken understanding. He gathers the memos, placing them in a new folder. This time, he locks the drawer with a sense of finality. The past is documented, but the future is still unwritten. Marcus sits across from a loan officer, hands clutching a folder of medical bills. The office is cramped, walls lined with faded posters promising opportunity. The officer glances at the paperwork, then at Marcus, eyes guarded. He taps a pen against the desk, the sound sharp in the quiet room. Marcus clears his throat. "My daughter needs surgery. I just need a small loan to cover the hospital costs. I've never missed a payment." The officer's smile is thin. "It's not about your record. It's about risk." He flips through the documents, barely looking at the details. "We have to be careful who we approve." Marcus's voice wavers. "I can pay it back. I have steady work. Please." The officer avoids his gaze, shuffling papers. "I'm sorry. It's not a good fit for our lending criteria." He pushes the folder back across the desk. Marcus's shoulders slump. He gathers the papers, hands shaking. Outside the office, he pauses, eyes burning. He watches other customers leave with approved forms, their laughter echoing down the hall. A nurse calls to confirm Kendra's appointment. Marcus forces his voice steady. "We're working on it. I'll find a way." Back in the present, Marcus sits in his office, staring at a faded copy of the loan denial letter. He traces the words, remembering the helplessness. The memory lingers, fueling his resolve. His assistant knocks gently. "You have a call from HR." Marcus straightens, folding the letter and placing it in his drawer. "Put it through." He glances at a photo of Kendra on his desk, her smile a reminder of what he's fighting for. The past is painful, but it shapes the fight ahead. A resignation letter lies crumpled on the HR desk, edges worn from being passed around. Marcus picks it up, reading the words written in shaky handwriting. "They watch me like I'll steal the trash." The letter is short, but every sentence stings. He looks up, catching the janitor's reflection in the glass. Flashback. The janitor, Mr. Ellis, empties bins late at night. A supervisor lingers nearby, arms folded, watching every move. Mr. Ellis glances over his shoulder, wipes sweat from his brow, and keeps working. The security guard strolls past, giving him a once-over before moving on. Marcus remembers seeing Mr. Ellis in the break room, always quiet, always alone. Once, Marcus offered a greeting. Mr. Ellis nodded, a tired smile barely there. Back in the present, Marcus places the letter on his desk. He calls HR. "Did anyone follow up on Mr. Ellis's complaint?" A pause. "It was handled, sir. He left on his own." Marcus's jaw tightens. "Handled how?" The HR rep hesitates. "We reviewed procedures, nothing more." Marcus hangs. Up, frustration simmering. He looks at the resignation again, the words heavy. He walks to the window, watching the cleaning crew move through the lobby. One worker catches his eye, offering a small wave. Marcus returns it, the moment filled with quiet understanding. He files the letter, adding it to a growing stack of unresolved complaints. The system's cracks are everywhere, visible in every overlooked worker, every ignored plea. The office feels colder, the weight of responsibility pressing in. Marcus knows these stories matter. Each one is a piece of the truth he can't ignore. He sits, determination building. The time for quiet acceptance is over. Marcus sits at his computer, eyes fixed on the security footage. The screen flickers, showing late-night shadows in the empty bank. Greg stands near the teller stations, laughing with two co-workers. He mimics a customer's accent, exaggerating every word. The others laugh, one covering her mouth, the other glancing nervously at the camera. Greg doesn't notice. He keeps going, voice rising in a cruel imitation. The laughter fades as the camera zooms in, capturing every smirk, every mocking gesture. The coworker who looked at the camera shifts her weight, arms crossed, discomfort clear on her face. She finally steps away, shaking her head. Marcus rewinds, watching the moment again. He sees the way Greg's eyes light up, how the others hesitate before joining in. The footage is silent, but the message is loud. The bank's logo glows in the background, a silent witness to the scene. Marcus prints a still image, tucking it into a folder marked Complaints. He calls IT. "How long has this footage been here?" The tech's voice is cautious. "It's from 2 weeks ago. No one flagged it." Marcus's grip tightens on the mouse. "Save a copy. I'll need it." He leans back, the weight of the evidence settling on his shoulders. The office hums with the sound of the air conditioner, the only noise in the room. A cleaning staff member enters, pausing when she sees the footage on the screen. She doesn't say anything, just nods at Marcus, understanding in her eyes. Marcus closes the file, his resolve hardening. The laughter on the screen is over, but its echo lingers. He knows what he has to do next. He stands, folder in hand, ready to confront what's been hidden for too long. Kendra sits on her bed, phone in hand, eyes red from holding back tears. She replays the video Greg's face, the way he questioned her, the tension in the lobby. Her thumb hovers over post. She hesitates, then types a caption. "This is how they treat us." She adds a hashtag, "Wonsen banking while black." She hits upload. The screen lights up with notifications, likes, shares, comments flooding in. Strangers reply with their own stories. "Same thing happened to me." They always find a reason. Kendra scrolls, heart pounding, seeing her experience mirrored in hundreds of replies. Downstairs, Marcus checks his phone. He sees the video, the comments, the hashtag trending. He watches Kendra's face on the screen, her voice steady but hurt. He feels a mix of pride and anger, pride in her courage, anger at the injustice. A friend messages Kendra, "You're going viral. Are you okay?" She types back, "I just want them to see." The bank's social media team scrambles, group chat buzzing with alerts. "Should we respond?" someone asks. The manager types, "Not yet. Wait for instructions." At school, Kendra's classmates whisper in the halls. Some offer quick hugs, others just nod, understanding in their eyes. A teacher pauses, hand on Kendra's shoulder. "You did the right thing," she says quietly. Marcus sits at his desk watching. The numbers climb. He knows this is bigger than one withdrawal. It's about every barrier, every doubt, every time someone like Kendra is made to feel less. Kendra puts her phone down, breathing deep. The story is out now. The world is watching. She looks out the window, sunlight breaking through the clouds, and feels a hint of hope. Marcus sits at his desk, the glow of his computer screen casting shadows across his face. He scrolls through a folder labeled HR Complaints, each file a story left unread. 3 names stand out, each tied to a complaint against Greg Whitlock. The first is a teller, her resignation letter folded and creased. She wrote of whispered insults, and being passed over for shifts. The second, a loan officer, detailed a pattern of dismissive treatment, her emails marked resolved but never addressed. The third, a security guard, described constant surveillance and unfair reprimands. Marcus leans back, rubbing his temples. The weight of these ignored voices presses down. He picks up a stack of emails, their subject lines cold and clinical. Complaint, Greg Whitlock. Allegation, unprofessional conduct. Request for review. He opens one, reading the words, "I feel targeted every day. No one listens." A knock at the door breaks his focus. His assistant enters, eyes cautious. "Sir, the board meeting is confirmed." Marcus nods, closing the folder. "Thank you." He looks out the window, the city lights flickering. The system's rot is deeper than he imagined, but the reckoning is near. These complaints were never just paperwork. They were cries for dignity, buried beneath layers of indifference. He sets the emails aside, determination hardening. The past will no longer be ignored. The elevator hums softly as Marcus steps inside, the polished doors sliding shut behind him. The vice president stands near the control panel, voice low, eyes flickering with unease. "You're rocking the boat," he murmurs, barely audible over the mechanical whir. Marcus's jaw tightens, fingers curling around the folder in his hand. He doesn't reply, letting the weight of the words settle between them. The VP's gaze shifts to the floor, then back up, searching for a sign of concession. Marcus's silence is a quiet defiance, a refusal to back down. A faint beep signals the elevator's ascent. The mirrored walls reflect their faces, one marked by cautious authority, the other by resolute determination. Outside, the city's noise filters in, distant and indifferent. Inside, the tension thickens, a silent battle waged in measured breaths and unspoken threats. The VP clears his throat, voice softer now. "You don't have to do this alone." Marcus meets his eyes, steady and unyielding. Change starts with someone willing to stand. The elevator dings, doors sliding open to the boardroom. The moment hangs heavy, a threshold crossed. Marcus steps forward, the folder clutched tightly, a symbol of years of quiet struggle now ready to break the surface. The VP exhales, a mix of resignation and reluctant respect. The boat may be rocked, but the tide is turning. The scene fades with the soft click of the boardroom door closing behind them, sealing the start of reckoning. Marcus returns to his office, the folder still in his grip. On his desk, an envelope sits plain and unmarked. He tears it open, finding a single sheet of paper. "I have the files. Meet me after hours. J." He reads it twice, pulse quickening. The handwriting is hurried, but the message is clear. He glances out the window, the city's lights flickering in the dusk. His phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. "Parking garage level 3, 8 p.m. Come alone." Marcus hesitates, then grabs his coat. Downstairs, the bank is nearly empty. A cleaning crew moves quietly, one woman offering a tired smile as he passes. He nods, appreciating the small gesture. The parking garage is cold, shadows stretching between the concrete pillars. A reporter stands near a pillar, hands in her pockets, face half hidden by a scarf. She speaks first, voice low. "You're Marcus Johnson?" He nods. "You said you had files." She hands over a flash drive and a thin folder. HR buried complaints. Emails, too. Greg threatened staff. Some left, some stayed quiet. Marcus flips through the papers, heart pounding. "Why help now?" She shrugs. "People deserve the truth. You deserve to know what's been done in your name." A car door slams in the distance. They both tense, then relax as a security guard walks by, whistling. Marcus pockets the drive, voice steady. "Thank you." The reporter nods, already backing away. "Be careful. They won't like this getting out." He stands alone as she disappears into the night, the weight of evidence in his hand. The files are real. The reckoning is closer. He looks up at the dark ceiling, resolving to settle in. No more secrets. No more hiding. The office is quiet. City. Lights flickering through the blinds. Marcus sits at his desk, the flash drive and folder from the reporter beside him. He reaches for his old Employee of the Month mug, the one from his first year at the bank. His grip tightens as he reads the complaints again. He stands abruptly, mug still in hand. The weight of years, every slight, every overlooked achievement presses down. He stares at the wall, jaw clenched, breath shallow. A cleaning staff member enters, pausing at the door. She sees Marcus, senses the tension, and quietly begins emptying the trash, careful not to disturb him. Marcus sets the mug on the edge of the desk, then pushes it. It falls, shattering on the floor. The sound echoes in the empty room. The cleaner glances over, eyes wide, but says nothing. She kneels, picking up the pieces, hands moving gently. Marcus kneels beside her. "I'm sorry," he says, voice rough. She shakes her head, offering a small, understanding smile. "It's just a mug," she whispers. He helps gather the shards, each piece sharp, cold. They work in silence, the act grounding him. When the last piece is in the bin, the cleaner stands, nods, and leaves. Marcus sits again, staring at the empty space where the mug once was. The broken ceramic is gone, but the feeling remains. He looks at the flash drive, determination hardening. The past can't be glued back together, but the future, he can still shape that. He opens his laptop, plugging in the drive. The files load, evidence filling the screen. Marcus exhales, shoulders squared, ready for the fight ahead. The office is still, but nothing is the same. Kendra sits at her desk, the glow from her phone lighting her face. She scrolls through messages, some supportive, some cruel. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. She starts to type, then erases, heart pounding. She thinks of her father, the way he stood tall at the counter, unshaken. She opens her camera roll, watching the short video she took in the bank. Greg's face, the dismissive tone, the way everyone watched but said nothing. She swallows hard, feeling the weight of every time she's been questioned, every time her place was doubted. Her phone buzzes, a friend's text, "You okay?" Kendra types back, "I will be." She opens Twitter, the cursor blinking. She writes, "My dad built this bank. Why don't I belong here?" She hesitates, reading it twice. She adds the hashtag, "breaking the bank." She stares at the screen, thumb hovering over tweet. Down the hall, her mother calls, "Dinner's ready." Kendra calls back, "Coming," but doesn't move. She closes her eyes, breathes deep. She remembers her father's quiet strength, the way he refused to be rattled. She thinks of the janitor's resignation, the stories buried in HR folders, the faces in the lobby that day. Kendra opens her eyes, presses tweet. The phone vibrates as notifications pour in. She watches the numbers climb, her story spreading. She feels exposed, but also powerful. Downstairs, Marcus sees the tweet, pride and worry mixing in his eyes. He types a simple reply, "Proud of you." Kendra sets her phone down, a small smile breaking through. She stands, shoulders back, ready to face whatever comes next. The world is watching now, and she's not backing down. Marcus's inbox pings, then pings again. He sits at his desk, watching as message after message appears. The subject lines blur together. "It happened to me. Afraid to speak up. Thank you for listening." Each email is a story, anonymous or signed. Each one a piece of the truth. He opens the first. A teller describes being passed over for promotion, her qualifications dismissed without explanation. Another message comes from a security guard, recalling nights spent patrolling alone, feeling unwelcome. A loan officer writes about being reprimanded for attitude after questioning a manager's decision. Marcus reads each one, jaw set, eyes burning. Some messages are short, a single line. I was never given a chance. Others are longer, detailing years of frustration, small humiliations, and dreams deferred. A board member's assistant writes, "I saw what happened. I'm sorry I didn't say anything." The words sting, but Marcus appreciates the honesty. He replies to a few, offering thanks, promising change. Most senders don't expect a response, but he answers anyway, determined to let them know they're heard. The emails keep coming. The stories are different, but the pain is the same. Marcus prints a few, laying them out on his desk. The pile grows, a testament to how deep the problem runs. He glances at the clock, realizing hours have passed. The office is quiet, but the voices in his inbox are loud, impossible to ignore. Marcus closes his laptop, resolving to settle in. The stories will be part of tomorrow's meeting. He won't let them be buried again. He stands, stretching, feeling the weight of the stories and the responsibility to act. Marcus sits in his car, parked beneath the flickering streetlight. The sky is just beginning to lighten, streaks of pink and gold stretching above the city. The folder of complaints and the flash drive rest on the passenger seat. He runs a hand over his face, exhaustion heavy in his bones. He watches employees trickle into the lot, some pausing to check their phones, others walking with heads down. Marcus sees the cleaning staff arrive, the woman from last night offering a small wave as she passes. He nods, grateful for the silent encouragement. His phone buzzes. A message from Kendra. "You've got this, Dad." He smiles, the tension in his shoulders easing just a little. He looks at the building, the glass doors reflecting the sunrise. Today is the day. He grabs the folder and flash drive, stepping out of the car. The morning air is crisp, carrying the promise of change. He walks toward the entrance, each step deliberate. A security guard at the door greets him with a respectful nod. Marcus returns it, feeling the shift in the air. Inside, the lobby is quiet. Staff gather in small groups, whispering. Marcus passes them, heading straight for the boardroom. He feels the weight of every story in his hands, every voice that trusts him to do what's right. He pauses outside the boardroom, taking a deep breath. The sun spills through the windows, lighting his path. He pushes open the door, ready to face the board, ready to speak for those who couldn't. Marcus sets the folder on the table, the sound echoing in the stillness. He looks around, meeting every eye. The time for waiting is over. Marcus enters the boardroom, folder and flash drive in hand. The room is filled with polished shoes, pressed suits, and uneasy glances. He sets the folder on the glass table, the impact sharp. The directors look up, some with raised brows, others with hands folded tight in their laps. He doesn't sit. Instead, he opens the folder, spreading out the printed emails, complaints, and the still image from the security footage. The glass table reflects every document, every face. A director clears his throat, voice thin. "Is there a reason for this display?" Marcus meets his gaze. "There is. These are stories you've refused to hear." A bead of sweat rolls down another director's temple. Someone shifts in their chair, leather creaking. The tension is thick. The only sound is the faint hum of the air conditioner. Marcus plugs in the flash drive, projecting the footage onto the screen. Greg's mocking laughter fills the room, the image frozen on his sneer. The directors stare, some faces hardening, others paling. No one speaks. The glass table, once a symbol of transparency, now seems fragile, a crack beginning to snake beneath the surface. Marcus's voice is steady. "This is what's been happening. This is what's been ignored." A director taps his pen, the sound sharp. Another glances at the door as if considering escape. Marcus stands tall, refusing to look away. The room is silent, every eye on him, every secret exposed. He lets the moment stretch, the weight of truth settling over the board. The crack in the table grows, both real and symbolic. He knows the reckoning has begun. Marcus slides more documents across the glass, each page a piece of history. "These aren't just complaints," he says. voice low but clear. Their patterns. He lays out resignation letters, printed emails, and handwritten notes. The directors lean in, scanning the words, some faces flushing, others turning away. One director, Mr. Bennett, adjusts his glasses, reading a letter aloud. "I am leaving because I am tired of being watched." His voice falters, eyes darting to Marcus. Another director fidgets with her necklace, avoiding everyone's gaze. Marcus continues. Every time someone spoke up, it was filed away, labeled as resolved. But nothing changed. He points to a stack of emails, each marked with a date and a name. These are people you have never met, people you never listened to. A director at the end of the table sighs, rubbing his forehead. "How many are there?" Marcus answers, "Too many, and everyone matters." The room grows heavier, the weight of years settling over the board. The glass table reflects their faces, fractured by the papers spread across it. A junior board member, voice shaky, asks, "Why didn't we see this before?" Marcus looks at him, steady. "You didn't want to." A hush falls, broken only by the shuffle of papers. The directors shift, discomfort written in every gesture. Marcus gathers the last letter, placing it on top. This is the cost of looking away. He steps back, letting the evidence speak. The boardroom feels colder, the air thick with regret and realization. The directors sit in uneasy stillness, confronted by the truth they can no longer deny. Greg rises from his chair, hands gripping the table's edge. His cufflinks engraved with the bank's initials tremble as he tries to steady himself. He glances at the directors, searching for support, but finds only blank stares and averted eyes. He clears his throat, voice wavering. I was just doing what I was told." The words hang in the air, hollow. A director shifts in his seat, avoiding Greg's gaze. Another taps her pen, the sound sharp in the tense room. Greg looks at Marcus, desperation flickering in his eyes. "You know how it is. There's a routine. I never meant to—" He stops, unable to finish. Marcus holds his gaze, unblinking. "You had choices. So did everyone here." A junior board member leans forward, voice barely above a whisper. "Did you ever think about what it felt like for them?" Greg's jaw tightens. He looks down at his cufflinks, twisting them with shaking fingers. "I was following instructions. That's all." The room is silent except for the faint hum of the projector. The directors exchange uneasy glances, the weight of complicity settling in. Greg tries again, voice cracking. "I'm not the only one. Others." A director cuts him off, tone cold. "Enough!" Greg's shoulders slump. He sinks back into his chair, cufflinks clinking against the table. The authority he once wore so easily is gone, replaced by uncertainty and fear. Marcus stays standing, the power dynamic unmistakable. The boardroom, once Greg's domain, now feels foreign and unforgiving. The moment lingers, a quiet reckoning unfolding in the stillness. The door opens quietly. Kendra steps in, blazer sharp, eyes unwavering. She walks to Marcus's side, standing tall, phone in hand. The boardroom stills. Every director turns, curiosity and discomfort mixing on their faces. Greg's breath catches. He looks away, hands clasped tightly in his lap. A senior director straightens her papers, trying to regain composure. The tension is palpable, thick as fog. Kendra doesn't speak. She taps her phone, playing the video, her own voice, calm but insistent, echoing through the room. Greg's earlier words fill the space, undeniable. The directors listen, some shifting in their seats, others staring at the table. A younger board member leans forward, eyes wide. "That's her?" he whispers to a colleague. The colleague nods, lips pressed thin. Marcus glances at Kendra, pride and resolve in his expression. He places a steady hand on the table, grounding them both. Kendra's presence is a statement. She doesn't need to raise her voice. Her story, her strength, is proof enough. The room absorbs her quiet defiance, the truth settling over them like a heavy blanket. Greg tries to meet her gaze, but falters, looking down at his cufflinks instead. The directors exchange glances, realizing the impact of what they've witnessed. Hey, long pause stretches. The only sound is the faint buzz of the projector. Kendra stands firm, her silence more powerful than any speech. Marcus finally breaks the quiet, voice low but clear. This is what you refuse to see. No one argues. No one interrupts. Kendra's presence changes the room. The balance has shifted, and everyone feels it. A red light glows on the camera in the corner. The live stream is rolling, numbers climbing fast. 100,000, then 2. Comments pour in, some angry, some relieved, all watching. The boardroom, once private, is now a stage. Every face is visible, every reaction broadcast to the world. A director glances at his phone, eyes widening as he sees the viewer count. Another director whispers, "We're trending." Greg shifts in his seat, sweat beading on his forehead. Marcus stands steady, gaze fixed on the directors. Kendra's video plays again, her voice clear and calm. The chat explodes. She's brave. This is real. Fire him. The pressure in the room grows with every notification sound, every ping a reminder that the world is watching. A staff member outside the glass doors peeks in, phone in hand, mouthing, "You're live." The directors exchange anxious glances, some straightening their ties, others folding their arms defensively. Marcus speaks, voice even. "This isn't just about us. It's about everyone who's ever been doubted, dismissed, or pushed aside." Comment flashes on the screen. "I close my account. Enough is enough." Another. "Thank you for speaking up." Greg tries to speak, but his words are lost in the flood of voices. The directors look at each other, realizing their decisions are no longer hidden. Kendra stands beside her father, silent but unyielding. The livestream continues, every second a testament to truth finally exposed. The boardroom feels smaller, the weight of public scrutiny pressing in. The world outside is no longer silent, and inside, no one can pretend not to hear. Marcus glances at Kendra. She nods, knowing they've changed something, maybe everything. Greg sits frozen, color draining from his face as the live stream rolls on. His hands grip the edge of the table, knuckles white. The directors don't look at him now. Their attention is on the screen, on the comments, on the world outside that suddenly matters more than his excuses. A bead of sweat trails down Greg's temple. He tries to speak, but his voice cracks, barely a whisper. I didn't mean..." The words die in his throat. The chat erupts. "No more excuses. Too late. Resign." A director shifts in his chair, clearing his throat. "We can't ignore this." Another director, voice flat, says, "We have to act. Now." Greg's eyes dart to Marcus, searching for help, but finds only resolve. Marcus stands unmoved, hands resting calmly on the table. Kendra's gaze is steady, unwavering. A junior board member leans back, arms crossed, watching Greg's collapse with a mix of relief and regret. The livestream count climbs higher, pressure mounting with every second. Greg's breathing quickens. He loosens his tie, swallowing hard. "Please, He can't finish. The words are gone, replaced by the reality of his downfall. A staff member outside the glass door snaps a photo, the flash reflected in Greg's eyes. He blinks, lost. The empire he thought was solid now slips through his fingers. Nothing left to hold. Marcus finally speaks, voice low. "The truth is out. It's over." The boardroom is silent except for the relentless ping of notifications. Greg lowers his head, defeated. The world has seen. There's no going back. A director shifts uncomfortably, the leather chair squeaking beneath him. Another director rubs her forehead, eyes darting from the live stream to the stack of complaints on the table. The room is thick with unease, the polished confidence of the board stripped away by the relentless gaze of the public. Someone coughs, breaking the heavy quiet. "We need to address this," a senior director mutters, voice tight. His hand trembles as he reaches for a glass of water, nearly spilling it. A junior member glances at Marcus, uncertainty written across his face. Kendra stands tall beside her father, her presence a silent rebuke. The directors, once so sure of their power, now look small, exposed. The live stream chat continues to scroll. Accountability now. No more hiding. Do the right thing. One director tries to compose herself, smoothing her skirt, but her hands won't stop shaking. Another stares at the floor, jaw clenched, unable to meet anyone's eyes. The weight of years of neglect and denial presses down on them all. Marcus remains standing, steady and composed. He doesn't gloat. He simply waits, letting the discomfort settle, letting the truth do its work. A staff member enters quietly, placing a new stack of printed emails on the table. The directors glance at the papers, realization dawning that every decision, every ignored complaint, is now a matter of public record. A director finally speaks, voice barely above a whisper. "We failed." The admission hangs in the air, heavy and final. The boardroom, once a fortress, now feels like a courtroom. The directors squirm, caught between the past they built and the future they can no longer avoid. The projector screen lights up with a flood of tweets. Breaking the bank flashes in bold letters, trending at the top. Kendra's post is everywhere, shared by thousands. Customers post screenshots of closed accounts, others share their own stories. The directors watch, faces pale, as the movement grows beyond the boardroom walls. A director scrolls through his phone, lips pressed tight. "They're organizing," he mutters, voice barely audible. Another director leans over, whispering, "We're losing trust. Fast." Marcus stands firm, watching the digital tide turn. Kendra checks her phone, eyes widening as the notifications multiply. "They're listening," she says softly, not just to her father, but to everyone in the room. The live stream chat explodes. "This is justice. We're with you. No more silence." The momentum is unstoppable, a collective, force demanding change. A staff member rushes in, breathless. "We've had 100 account closures in the last hour." The directors exchange worried glances, the reality of their crumbling authority setting in. Kendra's phone buzzes again, a message from a stranger. "Thank you for speaking up. You gave us courage." She smiles, hope flickering in her eyes. The boardroom is no longer insulated. The world outside is knocking, louder than ever. Marcus looks at the directors, voice calm but resolute. "You can't hide from this. Not anymore." The hashtag keeps climbing, toppling walls built over decades. The future is being rewritten in real time, and everyone in the room knows it. The janitor moves quietly through the emptying halls, mop in hand. His phone vibrates, a friend's text. "You see the live stream?" He nods to himself, watching the boardroom drama unfold on his small screen. The faces of those who once ignored him now fill the feed, exposed for all to see. He pauses outside the boardroom, listening to the muffled voices, the tension thick even through the door. Other staff gather nearby, their eyes meeting in silent agreement. One by one, they remove their badges, placing them gently on the reception desk. The sound is soft, but full of meaning. A teller joins him, her hands shaking as she sets down her badge. "I'm done," she whispers. The janitor nods, understanding. Another staff member follows, then another, a quiet procession that grows, with each step. Inside, the directors notice the movement. A senior board member stands, peering through the glass. His face falls as he sees the badges lined up, a silent protest impossible to ignore. The janitor straightens, shoulders back. He glances at Kendra's portrait on the wall, pride flickering in his eyes. The staff exchange nods, their unity stronger than any policy. Greg, still seated at the table, catches sight of the walkout. His expression crumples, realization finally sinking in. The boardroom is no longer a place of power, but a stage for reckoning. The janitor turns, pushing his cart toward the exit. The doors open, letting in the sounds of the city, a new beginning just outside. He leaves his badge behind, but carries his dignity with him. The lobby is empty now, the echoes of footsteps fading. The neon sign above the entrance flickers, casting broken light across the polished floor. Marcus stands alone by the front doors, watching the city wake up outside. The bank feels different, hollow, stripped of its old certainty. Greg's office sits dark, his Employee of the Year plaque tossed in the trash. A cleaning cart stands abandoned near the elevators. Kendra's portrait on the wall catches the first rays of morning, her image steady and proud. A security guard does his final rounds, pausing to adjust the sign-in sheet. He glances at Marcus, offering a nod of respect. Marcus nods back, the weight of the night settling on his shoulders. A teller walks through, coat draped over her arm, eyes red but determined. She stops at Kendra's portrait, tracing the frame with her finger before heading out. The staff's badges remain on the front desk, a silent reminder of the stand they took. Outside, the city moves on, cars honking, people rushing to work. Inside, the bank is still, the hum of computers replaced by quiet resolve. Marcus looks at the neon sign, its light flickering uncertainty. He knows the future is unclear, but something fundamental has shifted. The old ways are gone, exposed and dismantled. He turns off the lobby lights, leaving the sign to glow alone in the dawn. The building stands as both a warning and a promise, a place where change finally broke through. Marcus steps outside, locking the doors behind him. The morning air is cold, but he breathes it in, ready for whatever comes next. Greg sits alone in a corner booth, the diner nearly empty. His coffee sits untouched, steam long gone. He stares out the window, watching people hurry by, none of them glancing his way. The waitress refills his cup, her smile polite but distant. He nods, mumbling a thank you she barely hears. He checks, his phone scrolling through messages that grow colder with each new alert. "We need to talk," one reads. Another, "You should step back." He sets the phone down, rubbing his temples, the weight of the past 24 hours pressing in. A group of former colleagues enters, laughter echoing as they slide into a booth across the room. One catches Greg's eye, hesitates, then looks away, conversation dropping to a hush. Greg shifts in his seat, suddenly aware of every movement, every sidelong glance. The waitress returns, dropping the check without a word. Greg forces a smile, but she's already gone. He reaches for the sugar, hands shaking, spilling a few packets on the table. He gathers them up, movements slow, deliberate. He looks around, realizing how small the diner feels now. The world outside moves on, but he remains stuck, replaying every decision, every word spoken in that boardroom. A child at the next table asks his mother, "Who's that man?" The mother glances at Greg, then whispers something, her tone careful. Greg looks away, focusing on the cold coffee, wishing for invisibility. He takes a sip, the bitterness sharp. The conversations around him swell and fade, but no one invites him in. Greg sits, alone with his thoughts, the consequences of his choices settling in with every passing minute. He pays the bill, leaves a tip, and walks out into the morning, uncertain and unseen. Greg steps out of the diner, pulling his coat tighter against the morning chill. He spots two former colleagues across the street, both mid-conversation. For a moment, he thinks they haven't seen him. Then one glances up, recognition flickering in her eyes. She nudges the other, and their laughter fades. They pause at the curb, exchanging a look. Greg offers a tentative wave, but neither returns it. Instead, they cross to the opposite sidewalk, shoes tapping briskly against the pavement. Their voices drop to murmurs, backs turned as they hurry away. Greg stands at the edge of the street, feeling the distance grow with every step they take. The city moves around him, indifferent. He watches as the pair disappear into the crowd, their avoidance sharper than any words. A delivery driver nearly bumps into him, muttering an apology without making eye contact. Greg steps aside, suddenly aware of how exposed he feels. He glances back at the diner, its windows fogged with warmth. He can't return to. He checks his phone, hoping for a message, a call, anything. The screen is blank. The isolation settles in, heavier than before. A bus pulls up, people filing on without a glance in his direction. Greg hesitates, then turns away, walking slowly down the block. Every face he passes is closed off, every greeting withheld. He realizes, with a sinking feeling, that the wall between him and his old life is invisible but impenetrable. The choices he made have built it, brick by brick. Greg keeps walking, each step echoing with regret, the city swallowing him whole. Sunlight streams through the bank's tall windows, illuminating a new display near the entrance. Kendra's portrait hangs in the center, surrounded by photos of community leaders and staff who shaped the bank's future. Her eyes are steady, her expression proud. Customers pause to read the plaque beneath her picture, some smiling, others wiping away a tear. Marcus stands nearby, hands clasped behind his back. He watches as a young girl points at Kendra's photo, asking her mother, "Who is she?" The mother kneels, reading the inscription aloud. Kendra Johnson, advocate for fairness and change. A teller, passing by, straightens the frame, pride flickering in her eyes. An older customer lingers, nodding in quiet approval. The lobby feels transformed, lighter, warmer, a place where stories of struggle are finally honored. A local reporter snaps a photo for the city paper. "It's about time," she says to Marcus. He nods, his voice soft but certain. "We're not hiding anymore." A group of new hires gathers around the wall, taking in the faces, asking questions. One whispers, "This could be us." Another smiles, hope bright in his eyes. Kendra's portrait is more than a picture. It's a promise, a reminder that the bank belongs to everyone, not just a select few. The wall stands as proof that change isn't just possible. It's happening. Marcus glances at the display, pride and gratitude mingling in his gaze. The old order is gone, replaced by something stronger: community, respect, and the courage to speak up. As the lobby fills with morning light, the faces on the wall seem to glow, each one a beacon for what's next. Marcus sits at his desk, sunlight spilling across a fresh stack of papers. The new diversity mandate rests on top, language clear and direct. He reads every line, making sure nothing is left to interpretation. Equity, opportunity, accountability, each word chosen with care. He picks up his pen, hand steady. Staff gather outside his office, some peeking through the glass. A senior manager, usually reserved, offers a nod of encouragement. A junior employee whispers to a colleague, "It's really happening." The atmosphere is different, charged, expectant. Marcus signs the document, pressing the pen firmly to the page. The sound is soft but final. He stands, opening the door to the waiting staff. "It's official," he announces. "This is our new standard." A ripple of relief and pride moves through the crowd. One employee wipes away a tear. Another claps quietly. The HR director steps forward, extending a hand. "Thank you, Marcus. We needed this." He shakes her hand, looking around the room. "This isn't just about policy. It's about how we treat each other, every day, every decision." A longtime teller, voice trembling, says, "I never thought I'd see this." Marcus meets her, eyes. "We're building something better. Together." He posts the signed mandate on the staff bulletin board, pinning it next to Kendra's portrait. The staff gathers around, reading the words, some taking photos to share with friends and family. The old rules are gone. In their place, a new commitment, visible and real. Marcus steps back, watching as his team embraces the change. The bank feels renewed. The future finally open to everyone. A young teller in a blue hijab greets the next customer with a warm smile. "Good morning. How can I help you today?" The woman at the counter, speaking hesitant English, clutches a stack of forms. The teller leans forward, gentle and patient, guiding her through each step without rushing or judgment. Other customers watch, noticing the difference. There's no suspicion, no extra scrutiny, just help. The teller's kindness is genuine. Her tone steady and welcoming. She glances at Kendra's portrait on the wall, drawing quiet strength from its presence. A manager passes by, pausing to observe. He nods, approving, then moves on, a small smile on his face. The atmosphere at the counter is lighter. The tension that once lingered now gone. The woman finishes her transaction, relief and gratitude clear in her eyes. "Thank you," she says softly. The teller nods. "You're welcome. We're glad. You're here." A child tugs at his mother's sleeve, whispering, "She's nice." The mother smiles, agreeing. As the line moves forward, the teller continues her work, each interaction marked by respect and care. The staff nearby notice, some exchanging glances, quietly inspired to follow her example. A new customer steps up, greeted with the same warmth. The cycle of doubt and suspicion has been broken, replaced by trust and dignity. The lobby feels different now, open, safe, and welcoming to all. The change is real, visible in every small act of kindness. The teller looks up at the wall of honor, pride shining in her eyes. This is how it should be. A technician stands on a ladder, adjusting the bank's security cameras. Staff gather below, watching as the lenses shift direction. Instead of pointing at customers, the cameras now cover employee areas and meeting rooms. A sign goes up at the entrance. "We protect dignity here. Accountability for all." A senior teller reads the sign, eyebrows raised. "About time," she murmurs, glancing at her colleagues. Some staff look uneasy, others relieved. The new policy is clear. Everyone is responsible for the environment they create. Marcus walks through the lobby, pausing to watch the technician finish the last adjustment. He nods in approval, then addresses the staff. "This is for everyone's safety and respect. We're all accountable now." A manager shifts his stance, hands clasped behind his back, considering the change. A junior employee, previously quiet, smiles with newfound confidence. The atmosphere is charged with possibility and a hint of nervousness. A customer notices the new sign and asks, "Does this mean things are different now?" The teller at the counter answers, "Yes, for all of us." The camera's quiet whir is a constant reminder that old habits won't return. Staff meetings take on a new tone, open, honest, and respectful. The fear of being watched is replaced by a sense of shared responsibility. As the technician packs up, staff disperse, some chatting about the change, others deep in thought. The bank feels transformed, the shift visible in every interaction. Marcus stands by the entrance, watching the staff adapt, pride and hope mingling in his eyes. The new gaze is not about suspicion, but about fairness. Change is no longer just a promise. It's policy, and it's here to stay. Kendra sits by her bedroom window, journal open on her lap. The house is quiet, her family downstairs. She writes, slowly, each word careful. Change doesn't roar. It's the sound of a lock clicking open for everyone. She pauses, thinking of the bank, the new faces, the wall of honor. Her phone buzzes with messages, friends, strangers, people she's never met. Some thank her, others share their own stories. She smiles, feeling the weight of their trust. She writes, "I used to think no one saw us. Now I know they do." She remembers her father's steady voice in the boardroom, the staff walkout, the way the teller greeted every customer with respect. Kendra's heart swells with pride, but also with responsibility. She adds, "It's not just my story anymore. It belongs to everyone who ever felt small." A breeze drifts through the window, fluttering the pages. Kendra closes her eyes, breathing in the quiet. She writes one last line. Real change is quiet, but it lasts. Downstairs, her mother laughs at something on TV. Kendra closes her journal, placing it on the nightstand beside a photo of her family. She feels lighter, hope settling in her chest. She stands, stretching, ready to join her family. The world outside is still uncertain, but inside she knows something has shifted for good. Kendra glances at her journal before turning off the light, a soft smile on her lips. The whisper of change is real, and she's part of it. Morning sunlight pours through the bank's glass doors, casting long beams across the lobby floor. Marcus stands at the entrance, key in hand, pausing for a moment before turning it in the lock. The doors swing open, letting in fresh air and the sounds of a new day. Staff arrive, some smiling, some still cautious, but all sensing the shift. A new welcome sign greets customers. Every account, every voice, every day. The old tension is gone, replaced by quiet optimism. The teller in the blue hijab arranges her station, glancing at Kendra's portrait on the wall. She nods to Marcus, who returns the gesture. A mother enters with her son, pausing to read the wall of honor. The boy points to Kendra's picture, curiosity bright in his eyes. The mother explains, "She helped change things here." The boy grins, waving at the teller, who waves back. Marcus walks through the lobby, greeting each employee by name. Conversations are warmer, laughter easier. A manager holds the door for an elderly customer, who smiles in surprise. The security guard, once stiff and distant, now offers a friendly "Good morning" to everyone who passes. A reporter snaps a photo of the open doors, capturing the light, the faces, the sense of possibility. "New chapter," she remarks to a colleague. Staff nod in agreement. Marcus pauses by the entrance, watching as the lobby fills. He feels a sense of peace, knowing the changes are real, not just words on paper. The bank, once closed off and cold, is now a place of welcome and hope. He steps outside for a moment, breathing in the morning air. The day is just beginning, and so is everything else.